Here we are back at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for round 2 of the NELCAR Road Course Series, split between here, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and Thompson Speedway in Connecticut. Fantastic New England Road Course Series put on by Go Motorsports, and they qualify you for INEX World Championship points, which is great. The weekend didn't start out so great for me, however. We had to go back to the shop Friday night after practice. Didn't get that much practice in during the day because we were having issues, and found out that it was some engine issues that just were not cooperating. The engine was not cooperating with us. So went back to the shop, pulled the motor, put in the backup power plant, got everything hooked up. There's the man himself, Mike Alanovich from Go Motorsports. He helped with that, along with some of the other crew members back at the shop. It was a 2-hour ride up to their shop in Maine, then 2 hours back down to home, and then I pulled the trailer back to the racetrack in the morning with the car in it. We unloaded, went through the systems, made sure everything was good to go, and hit the track for practice in the morning. Luckily, we had a practice qualifying session, confirmed everything was great. Car is definitely back to where it was supposed to be. I qualified on pole in the Masters class, outpacing Sean Buffington and everybody else, which was amazing to do. So here we are behind some of the pro drivers. We have more pro drivers mixed in behind us as well. I think there's 16 cars in this field. There was about 35 or so cars this weekend mixed in. Oh, here's Trevor Kraus. Big shout out to him. He did win multiple races over the weekend. We have 4 races total. And he did it for Mr. Kyle Busch, as I'm sure everybody's aware of that unfortunate event. So here we are sitting on grid. This is the first race of the weekend, and one of the only ones I can even show you, because unfortunately my DJI action camera has had issues since I got it. I had a camera, it was shutting off randomly. I thought maybe it was overheating. I tried some different things. I decided to just throw in the towel on that DJI. But I love the video. I love the color. I love the quality. So I got rid of that camera, bought a brand new one, and I'm having the same exact issue. So obviously not the camera, or excuse me, it's not, an overheating issue with that specific camera. It's something to do with the camera in general. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm probably just going to switch back to GoPro because it's just not worth my time to mess with this thing. So unfortunately, this race and a little bit of a rain race, which I might mix in here at the end, you'll get to see some of the rain driving that we had to do in the last session we ran on Sunday. They were able to get in 3 races on Saturday, which we wouldn't normally do. We normally have practice qualifying race in the morning, practice qualifying race in the afternoon for 2 races, but we combined practice and qualifying and got in a 3rd race on Saturday so we could all try to beat the rain on Sunday, which didn't happen. But we only had to race once in the rain in the morning, and then we all got out of the racetrack a little early on Sunday, which was nice. It is a holiday weekend. Happy Memorial Day. Everybody got to go home. So why don't we go ahead and fast forward this section. We'll get rolling here to the green flag. All right, tires warmed up. I'm warmed up, I think. We're ready to go. So this is a good race. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you for all the respectful racing, Sean, and everybody else in the field. Here we go, green flag. Horrible start. I'm so terrible at starting in this car. I don't know what's wrong with me. Everybody else is just absolutely on it. And I've never had a problem in the Formula V prior to racing Legends. I just absolutely leave too much of a gap, probably because I'm not used to bumpers. And everybody gets by me. So I lose 2 spots. I'm running 3rd in Masters right now. That's Darren Gallant, which if you watch my previous videos, you've seen him before. Me and him are always going back and forth. He's on the Go Motorsports team. Love racing with the guy. And then Sean Buffington to his right in the silver car. So both of those cars are actually silver. I'm not too concerned. It's a 10-lap race, which is a bit of a sprint race, but plenty of time to settle in. As long as I don't get eaten up by the guys behind me. So they're already going side by side, but everybody's a little congested at the start of the race here anyway. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to hang with the pack because they're so congested. Plus you have the draft, which is a pretty big deal in these cars. They're basically flying bricks. So when you're behind another car, you get a lot of air taken off of your car, which helps out. Car was just absolutely hooked up this weekend. Thanks to the guys at Go Motorsports, we, had to do the engine swap. We got limited testing time to get the setup right. We kind of know what we want to do here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway anyway, because we've been here a bunch of times. But we're trying different things all the time, especially with me being a newer driver. I'm trying to find out what makes me comfortable, what works for me in different conditions. And I think, especially this weekend, I feel a lot more confident. Last weekend at Thompson, we were making changes and we were going in the wrong direction. It felt like the car, I just wasn't finding the speed that I wanted to have and the comfort in the car. The car seemed a little more twitchy, and we ended up finding out after the fact that the rear end was actually, a nut had come loose and the rear end was slightly out, and a 16th on the square in the rear can really make these cars handle different. So here you see I got a run on Darren coming out of the front straightaway. He didn't take that last corner so great, so definitely got it run. Figured I'm just going for it. He had lost Sean at this point anyway, so it's not like I was going to hold up that particular battle. If he was right on Sean's bumper, oh, of course, look at me, I screwed up turn 3 big time. If he was right on Sean's bumper, I probably would have just hung behind him, because I don't want to slow us down. I want to give us the best opportunity, being teammates, to win the race. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, we found the rear end was slightly out, which made the car just not unpredictable, but a little bit more of a handful to drive suddenly. And we were making different setup changes, and nothing was really working to make it do what I expected it to do. So going into this weekend, we didn't discover that until Friday morning-ish, right? But we were also having engine trouble at the same time on Friday during the practice day. So unfortunately, we were just overwhelmed with the different issues, and so we made some setup changes, but the engine kept blowing oil out of it. We weren't sure what was going on there. We thought maybe I just overfilled it, and it just progressively got worse and worse. So we're concentrated on that while trying to make setup changes. I'm trying to drive the car, but oil's coming out of the breather so bad, it's coming into the cockpit, it's getting all over my shoes. I could only do a few laps at a time, so none of that really worked out for us in our favor at all. But after the engine swap and discovering the rear end being out and making a couple other minor tweaks that I got to do that Saturday morning practice session, I knew immediately I wanted to make a couple of small changes, and we did that, and then the car was just on rails. I loved it. This is the best Legends I've ever driven to this point. I'm still very new, but the best setup. And of course, I'm getting better as a driver. I'm understanding what the car likes more. I'm understanding how to use my feet, how to use my hands more to get this car to do what it needs to do. And honestly, it is just a huge, huge difference from what I was driving before in Formula V. It's a completely different animal, and I knew that from the get-go, but I've always thought, it's just me. But now that I'm getting a little bit more up to speed, I'm figuring out where the real differences lie, and those car dynamics that really are key to being different, the car dynamics that are different being key to making the speed in the car. and getting around the track faster. Now, I'd like to be, of course, I'd like to run with the pros and win the overall, but I don't know if I'm going to get there. We'll see. It's good to have goals. I'd like to be there. But right now, I'm just happy to be running at the front of the Masters class. And speaking of the front of the Masters class, that is Sean Buffington in front of me, kicking up rocks, which was another issue for me again over this weekend. I've lost a radiator before because of those rocks at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And when we did the engine swap, we took the entire engine, radiator, and all out of the other car that we got it from. And unfortunately, that radiator didn't have a protection screen on it. So I ended up blowing a radiator again this weekend. Not during this race, but another race. Here we are, wheel to wheel. Very tight. Didn't give him an inch, as I know he wouldn't give me one. But respectful. He's trying to over-under me any chance he can get. Obviously, he doesn't want me in front. Here he goes up my inside again. I'm going to try to over-under him. He keeps it pinched. He's smarter than that, so couldn't get there. Had to lift on exit. No point running up into his bumper. But at this point, I just really did feel that I was a little bit quicker than Sean. I think my lap times proved it. And although I knew it was going to be a fight, felt like if I could get in front of him and make it stick, that we could get away just a little bit. So here we are, up the inside of turn one again. Just getting a better exit on that last corner. So coming onto the straightaway, not only do I have a little bit more speed from a better exit, I'm getting a little bit of draft. That was a pass for the lead. Now I'm quite sure that Darren is right there behind him. And now they're messing with each other. So that's helping me create this gap. You know, so he's probably got his mirrors full with Darren right now. You can see on my Micron, my dash in front of the steering wheel here, if you're not familiar. It's not a Micron, I guess. It's the AIM MXM system, really, but it's made specifically for the Legends car. I call it a Micron because that's what I was using in the Formula V, and it looks like a Micron anyway. But we're basically even lap time to my best lap of this race so far. And I think now that we're in front with clean space, we're going to end up gaining some tenths. The laps are going to just get a little bit quicker. Now, I remember at some point here, I screw up a corner going into turn one. Might be this lap for all I know. Yep, here we go. Well, no, that wasn't too bad. Just a tiny lockup, but lost a couple of tenths. But now that I'm in front, I'm really concentrated on trying to put down some good laps. See if we can get away. Create that gap. That gives me a little bit of breathing room. So coming to the line this time, it's going to be 2 laps to go. And I have a decent little gap behind me. So all I have to do is not screw this up, which is difficult when you're in the cockpit leading a race. Especially, this won't be my first win, but this will be my first win against Sean Buffington when he didn't crash. Last year at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, I got a win after Sean had unfortunately crashed and was out of the race. So didn't really feel like that one counted. So this one meant a lot. to go out and beat Sean at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, his home course, and he's been racing Legends for a long time. So to be able to do that is just amazing. It feels really good to at least come out with a victory in the Masters class, with everybody involved still intact at the end of the race. So just got to make it around the track one more time. We're going to come to the white flag. Luckily, I've done this about 1 million times on iRacing. And I'm pretty calm in the helmet. You know, obviously you're nervous that something could happen, but I'm not nervous about my driving. You know, I'm pretty calm and understand what to do, and that all comes from iRacing. When you've done this so many times in the simulator, there's less mental pressure that you put on yourself because you've been in this situation. You've done this thousands of times, hopefully. You know, you're leading a race and you have a gap and you know what to do, right? Just like on the last lap, if you're in second place and you're lining somebody up for a pass, you know, instead of just a lot of guys who maybe don't have as many races under their belt, they're just going to shove it in on any corner they can instead of thinking about where the best place to do it is to make it stick. Because, you know, just absolutely shoving your nose in a corner where you're going to end up being on the outside in the very next corner because you can't make the pass, it's not going to be beneficial. It's just going to slow you both down. It's going to bring up the guy behind you, things like that. So you learn a lot of that stuff in the iRacing simulator that, you know, you can't, unless you can race every single day of your life. In real life, you can't learn that in real life as much. The iRacing sim, you can do 5 races a day when I do 5 or 6 races a year. Well, 5 or 6 weekends, I should say. So here we are, checkered flag, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's go. That is very excited in the cockpit right now. Almost can't believe it. Finally got it done. And we're going to roll into the pits and go through tech. And that is race number 1. So obviously there's 3 more races to go. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the rain race, but like I said, my camera stopped recording most of the other races. It only lasted a few minutes into each one, which is unfortunate. But they didn't go as well as this one anyway. This is my only win of the weekend. The rain race, I ended up sliding into the tires and getting stuck, and no damage to the car, but I'll show you that in a minute here. And the other races, a Darren Gallant won one, and Sean won the other one. So going into the last race, we had all won in the Masters class. We had all won one race, and Sean ended up winning the one in the rain, which he's, you know, done in the rain a million times. I'm still learning how to drive this thing in the rain, and let's jump over to that in a second here. All right, here's that rain race that I've been promising you. This is the start of the race. What did I qualify? Second here, I think. And it was a mess out there. These cars are very different to drive in the rain. They have very little grip, and you cannot be on the normal driving line basically at all. You have to absolutely drive outside of the normal driving line, fight the car for any grip at all, get it pointed in the right direction. And they're surprisingly deceptive because they're pretty good on their brakes still in the rain. At least they're good until you overdo it. So there's Trevor. He unfortunately had an incident in qualifying, didn't get a qualifying lap. There was something wrong with the car early in the qualifying session, and then it started raining during the qualifying session. So by the time he got out for qualifying, it was already raining. He couldn't set fast enough lap to get to the front of the field, so he was stuck behind just about everybody. But he quickly makes this look too easy on us and makes us look like fools back here. But I've only driven one other time in the rain, and it was here at New Hampshire, and it was like a monsoon. It was ridiculously bad, and we were on rain tires. Today we're on slick tires. It was a slick tire only weekend. We're not running the rain tires because of some tire controversy that happened at the World Finals. There's some tires out there that floating around that are there's basically two different compounds, and they're not supposed to be. I've seen them myself. I have, in fact, I felt them. I can attest that there are definitely some different tires floating around. So they would have a major advantage. So everybody had just agreed to run the slicks, which have grooves in them. They're not even that bad in the rain. Honestly, given the conditions, I probably would take the slicks over the rain tires any time anyway. So I think we should just do that in the future. If it rains hard enough that you actually need the rain tire, then we should probably just not race, because that's major puddles on the racetrack. The only advantage of the rain tire is that the grooves are deep enough to evacuate water with major flooding conditions. These still have grooves. They can still cut through some water. And these conditions, honestly, I think we'd be driving the same speed with the rain tire. Because the rain tire is no softer, or at least the original rain tire was no softer. The new rain tire that some people have, much softer. But here, I'll fast forward through some of this. Just tricky conditions, not that exciting to watch, maybe. But I'm getting better. I don't know where to trust the car yet. And these guys have all driven in the rain much more than me. So I'm learning what to do to make the car faster and where to position the car in certain corners. And what parts of the pavement, like that black section of the pavement, no grip. You get outside of that black section of the pavement, you got some grip. Going up the hill here, because it's so worn out from all the classes running up the hill on the racing line, cannot get any grip going up that hill on the racing line. You have to be way off the line. So I'm doing the over-under on the racing line. In here in the bowl, you're going to stay real high. Stay away from the racing line. You can actually see it slicked off, just like in iRacing. Exactly the same in iRacing. You can see the smooth surface racing line almost as a shiny area in real life, and you want to stay the heck away from it. So, made a pass on Jack Walker back there. We're going to speed it up here till I catch Darren. He was going way outside in turn one, but that was not the move. Just staying way down low was fine. Much better. You can break in a straight line. So here I am. All kinds of confidence going into turn three. And he's going to try to over-under me, but he's going to be on the racing line coming up the hill, and you can see him just fall away in my mirror because he has no grip. And neither do I, really, but I have more than he does. It's really an interesting dynamic. And you're going at such slow speeds, it's almost not even dangerous to be out there. It's just kind of fun. Sliding the car around and getting a little squirrely. But I'm getting a little too cocky at this point. You'll see that in a second here, because I'm going to put it in the tires in turn 3 this lap. So I get on the back stretch, and that last lap I had so much braking power and authority going into 3. I thought, hey, I'm going to do that again. I'm on basically the same line. Oh, and I move over just a little bit, and the front's lock, and there's just nothing you can do. The car's not turning, and in hindsight, I almost wish I just slammed on the gas to get the thing to go sideways into the tires so I could drive it away. There was nothing behind these tires, luckily. They were just sitting there in the middle. And because of that, I did no damage to the car, not even a scratch. It didn't bend the bodywork, bumper, or anything. So I just don't have reverse. Legends cars don't have reverse. So I need to wait for the crew to come out and push me back or move the tires or whatever. Again, in hindsight, maybe I could have just started the car and moved the tires myself with the car, but I was a little dejected, a little upset with myself, and just decided to sit there and take my medicine. But here we are driving again, a little bit more cautiously now, because it certainly doesn't count for anything at this point. So I'll finish the race out and the weekend in last place, unfortunately. But it was a great weekend. Thanks everybody who put it on. Thanks New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Thank you INEX. Thank you Hoosier for making a good dry weather tire. Thanks Go Motorsports, of course, for all your support. Mike helped me endlessly through the weekend and changing the motor and everything. Thank my wife, of course, and then the main sponsor, iRacing. I absolutely could not do this without them. Best company to work for, and amazing that they can help me out a little bit with this racing adventure that I'm on. Um, and I can share with you guys how realistic iRacing is compared to the sim, because some of this stuff is 1 to 1. It's not perfect all the time, but I bring that information back to iRacing headquarters and we talk about it and we improve the simulator by doing this. So I'm happy that we can do that. So thanks again, guys. Enjoy, and I'll leave it at this. We'll see you in the next one.